He is posing spectacularly here for his finale of our gauntlet series. Below him sits his gauntlet. The hyenas are lurking below. And what's happened is that he found a piece of steak that he'd left on the ground, and then he grabbed it, and the hyenas realized they'd walked past it 5 or 6 times. They noticed and chased him, and he ran up into this beautiful tambuti tree. Now that is the quintessential leopard shot. That is what you want to see in Africa, even if he is lying on a very rare piece of filet mignon. Stunning. Stunning to lie on a soft, fleshy piece of nyala. Why don't you eat it? I think he's eaten so much nyala over the... I think you need to send us a one-word tweet, everybody, to describe what you think about Hosana using a piece of nyala steak. I'm not actually sure which piece of nyala it is, but send us a one-word tweet telling us what it makes you feel to see Hosana sleeping on his piece of nyala pillow. I think that's absolutely hilarious. Very wise. I climbed a tambuti tree the other day. They are very spiky, not comfortable to be in at all, even if you have got slightly thicker skin than I have, as Hosana does. And if I'd had a piece of meat like that to lie on, I think I probably would have done the same thing. You can see he's not comfy. Now he's going to think about eating his pillow. This is just beautiful. What a special cat this is, everybody. Hosana, our very favourite male leopard. Well, maybe not our very favourite. Tingana comes very close. But he's certainly one of our favourite male leopards, and it's because he has got such character. Tweety tweet, you say this is priceless, that your one-word tweet? I'm not sure what mine would be. It would be something like ridiculous, hilarious, bizarre. Table manners are not something that the royal family of leopards have in great abundance. We've certainly seen them all, especially the younger generation. We've seen Tlalamba, who is his sister and niece. I always need to think about it before I say it. His sister and niece. She's got dreadful table manners. Tundi and Tingana, the older generation, have a slightly better way of eating, a much more polite way of eating. We're going to see what he does over here while we go back to the Masai Mara, where Brent Leo Smith is watching the wildebeest halfway through their gauntlet. Yes, it certainly does take a very kind of, I suppose, royal personality to do that. It comes with the, shall we say, confidence of royalty to lie in your plate and feel nothing for it. This is, of course, the little prince, Hosana. His name actually means little chief. Hosi is a chief in the local language of Xitsonga, and Hosana is the small one. Whoops, he nearly dropped his meal there as Tingana tries to find his own. He does have to keep his eye on his meal at all times, but I must say, I think that this last overtime show for our Gauntlet series, the finale, has been long on humour and short on tragedy, which is, of course, exactly how it should be at the end of a show. It's been a really fantastic 5 weeks, of course, and Hosana, you're looking at there, I believe, the star of the show. He's appeared live in every single episode. Now, of course, we've seen the North Clan in every episode, and the sausages in every episode, and the wildebeest in every episode. We may have seen the same wildebeest in every episode, but you wouldn't know, of course, because they're very difficult to tell apart from each other. But this fellow has survived and been in every show completely live. And I think that's a very good idea from our director coming through saying, let us ask the viewers who they think the star of the show is. I assume that you all agree with me. So hashtag Safari Live, you can tell us who you think the star of the show has been. If you don't say Hosana, obviously I'll never speak to any of you again. So you can do that now using the hashtag Safari Live as the sun slowly makes its way down the trunk of this tree, and it is shortly going to light him in a perfect golden African dawnlight. And I can also tell you that there is some mist behind the tree. That's quite interesting. Seems to be rising from somewhere, I don't know where, because we're pretty low down here. We're in the valley of the great Amati River, and there's no mist here. So that's very interesting. I suppose there must be some kind of thermocline, I think that's what you call it, as Hosana rests peacefully in his tree. He has decided not to lie on his meal anymore. In fact, he has eaten his pillow, and now the hyenas are very distressed that there is nothing for them to steal from him there. All of you are agreeing with me that Hosana was the star of the show, or remains the star of the show. Thank you very much for that. I did, of course, try and intimidate you into that answer, but I mean, that's okay. He's a fantastic leopard, this. Oh, Samantha, stop it. You say I was the star. Well, I'm speechless and blushing at the thought. Thank you, Samantha. Now, there's just an awkward robin calling in the background, going as we go across to the star's father. I'm wailing and gnashing my teeth at the use of the word unthrown, which I don't think is a word. It's dethrone, Brent, and unless you can speak English properly, you're not allowed to try and dethrone my star from his perch. Look at him sitting up there. The best way for you to decide who has been your star of the show, of course, is to have a look at the, well, I suppose, highlights of the past 5 weeks. We've had an absolutely magnificent time as the dry season has taken hold here in the Western Kruger, and the migration has got into full swing in the Masai Mara. I'm prepared to acknowledge that it's up to, of course, everyone's preference who the star of the show is. I'm, of course, slightly biased because I've spent the last 5 weeks either trying to find Hosana or trying to find one of his greatest gauntlet threats, and that, of course, is the lions of the Nkuhuma Pride around here. We've had hyenas, we've even had wild dogs, all of which pose a threat to what I think is one of the most wonderful leopards in all the world. Which is, of course, because I'm not familiar with all the leopards in all the world, but certainly he's one of the most famous leopards in all the world. Yes, Kelly, I'm afraid Hosana did eat his pillow. He lay on it for a while, it got a bit squishy, and then he licked it once or twice, and then he swallowed it. And he has continued to then snooze on the uncomfortable Tambuti branch. I think that there is more meat in the tree here as well, so I don't think this is his first foray up into this tree with this particular nyala that he killed, probably sometime around mid-morning yesterday, and there is a piece of red flesh up towards the top of the tree. Maybe he'll go there. This will be nice. That's it. Up you go. You've had a very leisurely morning so far. Oh, he's having a little sneeze again. Now he's giving the tree a bit of a lick. I'm not sure why he'd do that. He's a very sleepy fellow. He's got a very full belly, and he spent the last week trying to hunt and failing. We watched him hunt at least 5 or 6 scrub hares. He failed there. He tried to take down a fully grown nyala bull, and that was hopeless completely. And then yesterday, as a cold front blew in, and his approach was no doubt masked by the southeast wind and the thick atmosphere, he managed to take down a nyala cow. We think somewhere around mid-morning. All right, we're going to wait and see if he gets up into the top of the tree while Hosana, at least his father, continues on his hunt. I'm very pleased that Tristan agrees with me. Of course, he's spent equal amounts of time with Hosana over the last little while. He's now looking down at his nemesis, the two hyenas of the Juma clan. They're so close to us that, well, you can barely see them in front of the car. They're hoping he'll drop some piece of meat down for them to snaffle for their breakfast. He seems to have a very itchy head. But this is a cat in complete comfort. He's very happy because he's got lots to eat and he'll have breakfast and dinner over here. Caro, I would suggest that eating your pillow tonight would be a very poor idea indeed. I don't think it'll taste nearly as nice as his. I think its effect on your bowels will be very distressing indeed. Please do not eat your pillow this evening. Now, we only have 1 minute left of the Gauntlet series, of the Gauntlet Overtime show, and I must tell you that we do this every single day. Yes, that's what I said, live from the Masai Mara and Juma Private Game Reserve here in the Western Kruger National Park. And you can just go to Google, stick in Safari Live, and you'll find the platform that suits you best. Isn't this just a spectacular way to end our 5-week Gauntlet series? Hosana sitting now in the golden light of the dawn. Hopefully he doesn't fall on our heads. He's got his little piece of meat up there. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for your questions and your comments. You've been great sports. You are the most important part of any live safari. We will see you again from the Kruger and from the Masai Mara very soon. Until then, bye-bye.